Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive. Today we're diving into Selldone.
Selldone.
Yeah, it's this really fascinating platform that's trying to revolutionize e-commerce and how we think about online business. And we've got these two documents that we're going to be pulling from called SLDN, Selldone Coin, and Solana Payment. And we're going to be pulling out the most interesting bits from those two documents to give you kind of a clear picture of what this whole Selldone thing is about.
Yeah, and what really got me when I first saw Selldone is that they're not just calling themselves another online store builder. They're actually calling themselves a business operating system, or a BOS. And it's more the idea that they're trying to simplify the whole process of running an online business.
So instead of having 10 different apps and services all cobbled together,
exactly,
they're trying to be your one-stop shop for everything.
Yeah, and they're doing it all with no code, so you don't even have to be a tech expert to build out a pretty sophisticated online business.
That's really interesting, because then that could potentially level the playing field for maybe entrepreneurs that don't have the resources to hire developers or learn how to code all that complicated stuff.
Yeah.
But then there's this whole another layer to this whole Selldone thing, right?
Yeah.
They've created their own cryptocurrency called Selldone Coin.
That's right. SLDN.
SLDN, yeah.
And it's clear from this document that they're trying to avoid all of the pitfalls of so many other crypto projects, especially those meme coins that don't have any real utility.
Yeah.
They're really designing this SLDN to be deeply integrated into the Selldone ecosystem.
So it's not just a speculative asset that you buy and hope it goes up in value.
Right.
It's actually meant to be used within the platform.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm curious, how does that actually work in practice?
Well, let's start with the tokenomics. They've set a total supply of 210,000 SLDN. And they've outlined this distribution strategy that allocates tokens to different areas like community rewards, liquidity pools, and an ecosystem development fund. And they're even using a vesting schedule to prevent a sudden flood of tokens into the market, which, that could destabilize the price.
Yeah, for sure. That seems like a very responsible approach.
Yeah.
But what I really want to understand is how people are actually going to use this SLDN.
You're right.
What's in it for the average user? Why should I care about this?
Well, there are several compelling use cases for starters. Users can earn SLDN through loyalty programs.
Oh, interesting.
Staking and referrals.
So you're actually rewarded for being a loyal customer and bringing in new people to the platform.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just earning rewards. Holding SLDN could give you access to premium features within Selldone, like advanced analytics or exclusive marketing tools.
Yeah.
It's like having a VIP membership that unlocks a higher tier of service.
Okay, so there's a real tangible benefit to actually acquiring and holding this.
Right.
It's not just about, maybe this will go up in value and I can sell it later.
Exactly.
It's no, I get something right now for having this.
Yeah, and here's where it gets even more interesting. SLDN holders will have voting rights, giving them a say in key decisions that affect the platform.
Oh, wow.
This could include, deciding on new features to choosing which projects receive funding from that ecosystem development fund.
So it's kind of like a decentralized, community-driven approach to actually developing this platform.
Precisely. And it's a level of control and transparency that you rarely see in traditional e-commerce platforms.
But let's not forget, the practical side of things, right?
Yeah.
Selldone is also using this SLDN to power some really innovative features, like their AI-driven virtual staff.
Yes. These AI agents can handle various tasks within the platform, and, they need a way to get paid for their services, and SLDN facilitates those machine-to-machine payments all on the Solana blockchain.
So it's like a little microeconomy within the platform itself.
Yeah.
With the SLDN being kind of like the grease that makes the wheel spin.
It's a fascinating concept, and it really plays to the strength of Solana, which is known for its, high speed and low transaction fees.
It's like they've really thought of everything. And speaking of innovative use cases, they're also using SLDN to enable users in regions with limited banking infrastructure to pay for Selldone services.
Yeah, this is huge.
Yeah.
This is a powerful example of how blockchain technology can foster financial inclusion globally.
Yeah.
It removes barriers to entry for entrepreneurs around the world who might not have access to traditional banking services.
I'm really starting to see the bigger picture here.
Yeah.
This isn't just about building a business. This is about building a global community.
It is.
And empowering entrepreneurs from all walks of life.
And they're doing it with a combination of really innovative technology and thoughtful design. Now let's talk about how Selldone is actually using its revenue to support this whole SLDN token and its community. They've implemented a buyback program.
Okay, a buyback program. Can you explain what that means and why it's significant?
Certainly, Selldone uses 1% of its revenue to buy back SLDN from the open market.
Okay.
This has a couple of key benefits. First, it helps to support the token's value, which is good for holders. And second, it signals a commitment to the long-term success of SLDN and the Selldone ecosystem as a whole.
That's a really clever strategy because it shows that they're not just interested in a quick cash grab.
Right.
They're actually invested in building something sustainable.
Exactly. They're also committing at least 30% of the proceeds from the SLDN coin sale to liquidity pools,
Okay.
which helps to stabilize the market and ensure smoother trading for everyone. The rest will go to exciting new developments like metaverse integrations and AI enhancements.
Wow. It sounds like they have big plans for the future. It's clear that they're not just riding the crypto wave.
Yeah.
They're actively shaping it.
Now let's shift gears and talk about another key aspect of Selldone, their native Solana payment option.
Ooh, this is what I've been waiting for. Tell me, why is Solana such a good fit for this? I know it's like a very popular blockchain right now.
Right. Well, Solana has several advantages that make it ideal for payments. First, it's incredibly fast, with transactions confirming in just seconds. Second, the fees are incredibly low, often just fractions of a cent. And third, Solana can handle a massive volume of transactions without breaking a sweat.
That's really impressive, especially compared to some of the other blockchains out there that can be really slow and expensive to use.
Yeah.
But I'm imagining that integrating Solana payments into an e-commerce platform must be quite complex, right?
You might think so, but Selldone has managed to make it surprisingly straightforward.
Okay, so let's unpack this a little bit. How does Selldone actually make these Solana payments work in the real world?
One of the key innovations is their use of temporary wallets.
Okay.
Instead of sending payments directly to the seller's wallet, which could pose some security risks, Selldone generates a temporary wallet for each transaction.
So it's kind of like a secure holding area for the funds until the transaction is complete.
Exactly. It adds an extra layer of security, and it ensures that the funds are only released when certain conditions are met. And to keep everything organized, they use either memos, which are like little notes attached to a transaction, or nonces, which are unique identifiers embedded in the payment amount to make sure that each payment is correctly linked to its corresponding order.
That's clever.
Yeah.
But for someone who's like completely new to Solana, how would they even get started with this whole process?
Selldone has made it remarkably simple. As a seller, you would go into your shop settings and add SOL as a currency.
Okay.
They even have this auto exchange rate feature, so you don't have to manually update exchange rates all the time.
That's nice.
Then you would add a new payment method and select Solana, and you would enter your Solana wallet address, and you're good to go.
So it's like as easy as setting up, Stripe or PayPal.
Pretty much.
No need for like complex integrations or having to be like a tech wizard to set this all up.
Exactly. Selldone has really streamlined the process.
Now let's imagine like a customer decides to pay with SOL. What does that payment flow actually look like?
So the customer sends the exact amount of SOL to the temporary wallet generated by Selldone for that specific order.
Okay.
Selldone takes a small processing fee, usually around 0.5%, to cover the network costs. And just a heads up, Solana wallets need a tiny amount of SOL, about 0.001, to remain active, so the total payment needs to be slightly higher than that.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Then once the payment is verified, Selldone automatically transfers the funds from that temporary wallet to the seller's wallet.
So it just kind of happens seamlessly behind the scenes?
Exactly. But what if a seller wants to hold the payment until the order is fulfilled? That's pretty common practice in e-commerce to protect both the buyer and the seller.
That's a good point. What happens then?
Well, Selldone has thought of that too. They have this capture feature that allows sellers to hold the payment in the temporary wallet until they're ready to claim it.
Okay, so the money's just sitting there securely waiting to be released.
Exactly.
Once the seller confirms that the order has been shipped or the service has been provided.
Precisely. And they even support partial capture, which means that a seller could capture part of the payment and automatically refund the difference if, for example, only part of the order could be fulfilled.
Okay, that's a great level of flexibility.
Uh-huh.
It gives sellers more control over their cash flow.
Right.
And it protects buyers in case, something goes wrong.
Exactly. Now, but what about security? How does Selldone ensure that these Solana payments are safe?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Security is a top priority for Selldone, and they've implemented several measures to protect both buyers and sellers. First, Users never have to give Selldone their private keys, which are like the passwords to their wallets.
Right.
They only provide their public Solana wallet address, which is perfectly safe to share.
That's good. So Selldone never has like direct access to your funds.
Right, and the transfer of funds from the temporary wallet to the seller's wallet happens instantly. So there's no delay where the funds are vulnerable. Plus, that temporary wallet system itself acts as an additional security measure because the funds aren't sitting in the seller's wallet right away.
So it's like having a buffer zone that protects everyone involved.
Exactly.
It's amazing how they've made this whole process so secure and so user-friendly at the same time.
It really is. And to make things even more convenient, you can actually pay your Selldone service fees using SOL.
Oh, wow. So you could essentially run your entire Selldone business using SOL if you wanted to.
Exactly. They're making it as easy as possible for businesses to embrace Solana within their operations. Now, if you're new to Solana and wondering which wallet to use, Selldone recommends some popular and user-friendly options like Phantom, Soulflare, Slope, Exodus, and Trust Wallet.
Those are all great choices. Very well-respected wallets in the Solana community. But let's get down to the nitty-gritty. How does a customer actually make a payment using SOL?
There are two main ways. The first is autopay, where Selldone generates a QR code that the customer scans using their Solana wallet app.
Okay.
The wallet then automatically fills in the payment details, and the customer just needs to confirm.
Super easy.
Very easy. Yeah, it's like paying with a credit card, but using a QR code.
I like that.
And then for those who prefer a more manual approach, they can simply copy the temporary wallet address provided by Selldone, enter the exact payment amount into their Solana wallet, and hit send.
So they have options for both, tech-savvy users and maybe those that are a little bit more, hands-on.
Exactly.
I like that what happens after the payment is sent.
Well, Selldone provides a unique URL where both the buyer and the seller can track the transaction on the Solana blockchain in real time.
So that creates a lot of transparency and helps build trust between the buyer and the seller.
Exactly. And here's a key point. Selldone doesn't force you to convert your SOL to any other currency. You can price your products and services directly in SOL, and if you decide to convert it later, that's entirely up to you.
So you're in complete control of your finances.
You are.
You're not locked into any automatic conversions or forced to use third-party exchanges or anything like that.
Exactly. Selldone is really removing that complexity and friction that has been traditionally associated with using crypto for e-commerce.
I like that this has been an incredible deep dive so far.
Me too.
We've covered so much ground already, from Selldone's innovative platform, the potential of their SLDN token, and their seamless integration of Solana payments.
There's still a lot more to uncover.
Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the world of Selldone and explore what it all means for the future of e-commerce.
What I think is really interesting is how Selldone's approaching blockchain payments is really practical. It's like they sat down and thought about all the concerns businesses might have about using crypto and really tried to address them head on.
I see that too. It feels like they're bridging the gap between, the complexities of blockchain technology and the everyday needs of businesses. For example, they talk about this whole KYC and KYB dilemma, which I know has been a major hurdle for a lot of crypto platforms.
Yeah, KYC, know your customer, and KYB, know your business, are often used to verify identities and prevent fraud. But, those checks can be really intrusive, especially for small transactions.
Yeah, if you're just selling like a handcrafted item. Or like a digital download.
Exactly.
It can feel really excessive to have to provide, a ton of personal information. It just adds friction to the process and kind of discourages people from using crypto for everyday purchases.
Selldone seems to get that, and they're taking a more balanced approach, focusing on attracting businesses that offer genuine products and services, which I think really helps to build trust within the platform.
Yeah, it's like they're saying, look, we're not trying to be the Wild West of crypto. We want to create a safe and trustworthy environment where legitimate businesses can thrive.
Exactly. And they're also addressing this issue of virtual asset fraud head on.
Yeah, that's a big one.
There have been so many shady projects in the crypto space. It's understandable that people are hesitant to trust anything new.
Yeah, you have those like pump and dump schemes and rug pulls where people just create tokens with no real value, hype them up, and then disappear with everyone's money.
Exactly, but Selldone is building a real business. They're not just chasing hype by focusing on attracting businesses with genuine products or services. They're creating a more sustainable and trustworthy ecosystem.
Yeah, it's like the difference between building a house on sand and building it on solid ground. They're laying a strong foundation for long-term growth. But I'm wondering, what about some of the more technical challenges of using blockchain for payments?
Okay.
Because I know there have been issues in the past with things like tracking payments and resolving errors.
Right. One of the challenges is the lack of a native payment ID on many blockchains. This can make it really hard to track transactions, and it can even lead to duplicate payments.
Oh, I see how that could be a problem.
Yeah.
Imagine like two people accidentally sending the exact same amount of crypto to the same address. How do you know which payment belongs to which order?
Exactly. It could be a logistical nightmare.
Yeah.
But Selldone has developed their own algorithm to address this issue. It helps them track and verify each transaction, ensuring that everything is properly accounted for.
So they're adding like an extra layer of organization and clarity on top of the blockchain itself.
Exactly. They're not just relying on the blockchain to handle everything. They're taking proactive steps to make sure that everything's accurate and prevent errors.
I liked it. That makes me feel more confident about the whole system. But I'm also curious about their reliance on third-party services. You know, many crypto platforms depend heavily on external providers for things like, you know, KYC, KYB checks, transaction processing, even wallet integration.
Right. That can be a real vulnerability. If that third-party service goes down, gets hacked, or changes their terms of service, it can really disrupt your entire business.
It's like building your house on someone else's land.
Right.
You have no control over what happens to that land.
Selldone understands this risk, and they're minimizing their dependence on these third-party services by building their own solutions whenever possible.
So they're really taking ownership of the entire process. They're not just, you know, cobbling together a bunch of pre-made components.
Right.
They're crafting a custom solution that meets their specific needs.
And by doing that, they're reducing their exposure to external risks and ensuring a more stable and reliable platform for their users.
That's awesome. I appreciate that they're taking that long-term view. You know, it shows that they're not just focused on quick profits. They're building something that's sustainable and robust. But at the end of the day, all of this technology is only as good as it is easy for people to actually use.
Right.
So what are your thoughts on the user experience of Selldone's Solana payment system?
Well, this is where Selldone really shines.
Okay.
They've managed to make this incredibly user-friendly. It's as easy as using a traditional card payment system.
I think that's a really crucial point. One of the biggest barriers to crypto adoption has been just the complexity of using it.
It has.
If it feels like you need a degree in computer science just to buy a cup of coffee with crypto, it's never going to go mainstream.
Yeah, but Selldone is breaking down those barriers. They're not adding unnecessary steps or forcing users to jump through hoops. I've seen platforms that require users to create separate accounts, link their social media profiles, even mint NFTs just to make a payment.
Oh, gosh. That's like, why are you making this so complicated? Just let me pay for my stuff.
With Selldone, you simply connect your Solana wallet and you're ready to go.
That's it.
They've really streamlined the whole experience.
I love that. I'm also wondering about this whole issue of volatility.
Okay.
You know, cryptocurrencies are known for their price swings, right?
They are.
So how does Selldone address the concerns of people who might be hesitant to use crypto for payments because they're worried about the value fluctuating?
That's a valid concern, but here's the beauty of Selldone's approach. They don't force any conversions. You can set your prices in SOL, and your customers can pay in SOL if you want to convert those SOL to another currency later. That's entirely your choice.
So you're not locked into any automatic conversions that could potentially like eat into your profits if the price of SOL drops.
Exactly. You have complete control over your finances. You can hold your SOL, convert it when you want, or even use it to pay Selldone's transaction fees.
So much flexibility. I love
It
it.
aligns with their whole philosophy of empowerment and user-centric design.
So to kind of sum all of this up, Selldone isn't just building an e-commerce platform.
Right.
They're creating an entire ecosystem that addresses these real-world challenges of blockchain payments, offers genuine utility for their SLDN token, and empowers businesses to really embrace the future of commerce.
They're not just talking the talk, they're walking the walk.
And they're doing it with this focus on user experience, security, and long-term sustainability.
What are your thoughts on all of this, though? Do you think platforms like Selldone are kind of a glimpse into the future of e-commerce, or are they still too early in their development?
Ooh, that is a fantastic question. And one that we are going to explore further as we continue this deep dive into Selldone. We're back, and as we continue this deep dive into Selldone, one thing that really stands out to me is how Selldone is approaching this whole e-commerce space with a real sense of purpose.
I agree.
It's not just about like, oh, let's cash in on the latest tech trends or anything like that.
Right.
They're actually trying to make a difference.
I see that too. It feels like there's a real mission behind what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're not just building a product. They're trying to build a solution to these like real problems that businesses face.
And they're doing it in a way that's like accessible and understandable for everyone.
Right.
They're not trying to like, blind people with tech jargon or make you feel like you need a PhD in computer science to participate.
It's refreshing to see a company taking this approach. There's been so much hype and speculation in the crypto world that it's easy to get lost in the noise.
Yeah.
But Selldone is cutting through all of that with a clear vision and a solid roadmap.
So let's circle back to that question that we posed before the break.
Yeah.
Do you think that platforms like Selldone represent the future of e-commerce?
I think they have the potential to be a major force in shaping the future of online business. The way they're integrating blockchain technology, not just for payments, but for things like loyalty programs, governance, even powering their AI virtual staff is incredibly innovative.
And their focus on user experience, simplicity, and security is really appealing too.
Right.
They're not just catering to like tech enthusiasts.
Yeah.
They're really trying to make these tools accessible to everyone.
That's key for mass adoption. If people find it too complicated or intimidating to use, they're simply not going to bother.
Yeah.
Selldone gets that, and they're making it so easy for people to just get started and start reaping the benefits of blockchain technology.
And there's always a but, right?
Of course.
There are still challenges ahead.
Yeah. The crypto landscape is constantly evolving,
Sure.
Regulations are still uncertain in many parts of the world, and there's always a risk of unforeseen technical challenges or security vulnerabilities.
Right. And even though Selldone is making it easier than ever to use crypto, there's still a learning curve for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Not everyone is comfortable with the idea of managing their own wallets or dealing with the volatility of cryptocurrencies.
That's true. Education and awareness are going to be really crucial for widespread adoption, but I think Selldone is doing a great job of leading the charge.
Yeah.
They're providing those clear explanations, helpful resources, and a supportive community to guide people along the way.
I agree. They're not just like, throwing people into the deep end
Right.
and saying, figure it out. They're holding your hand and saying, come along with us. This is going to be exciting.
Exactly. And that's what makes me optimistic about all of this.
Yeah.
Selldone isn't just building a platform, they're building a movement.
I love that.
They're bringing together this community of entrepreneurs, developers, and forward-thinking individuals who believe in the power of blockchain technology to really transform e-commerce.
That's a really powerful vision. And whether or not Selldone becomes like the dominant player in this space, they're certainly paving the way for a more decentralized, transparent, and user-centric future for online business.
I think so too.
That's really exciting. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with a final thought. What do you think is like the biggest takeaway from all of this?
I think the biggest takeaway is that the convergence of blockchain technology and e-commerce is happening now.
Yeah.
It's not some distant future scenario. Platforms like Selldone are making it a reality today. And as this convergence accelerates, we're going to see a fundamental shift in how businesses operate and how consumers interact with the online world.
So whether you're an entrepreneur, a developer, or just someone who's curious about the future of technology, now is the time to start paying attention.
This is a revolution in the making, and Selldone is one of the companies leading the charge.
And that is a perfect place to wrap up this episode of The Deep Dive. As always, we encourage you to continue the conversation online.
Please do.
Share your thoughts, your questions, your insights. Let's explore this fascinating world together. Thanks for joining us.